Hello Gemini, thank you very much for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Already shuffled. I think that's all we want of those. That's fine. Where are we going? It's something going on around you. It's like, this seems like something's going to creep in and cause a big change here. And it's going to shock you, but it could be very good, just to be fair. Because it looks like it's going to go very well for you. It's just completely, like, left field. I'm not going to say you're not, it's not like a possibility, but we'll get there. Because I'm like, are you going to be shocked? The Tower card would suggest so, but we'll see. When you're coming into this, you got the Beauty card on your side. Okay, you got the Beauty card on your side. And I feel like somebody is exiting. Okay, so like you're happy, like this is why you're happy is what I'm thinking. You got the Emperor with the Six of Swords, which is making me, it's kind of depending on your situation. It could be they're just leaving you alone, or it's just kind of like they're not influencing you anymore. They're stepping back and you're getting more control is what I'm definitely getting. One way or another, either they're out and they're gone, or they're backing off to where you have more control to do what you want. They're leaving you alone, they're out of your hair. Because you got this Nine of Pentacles. And you're like, this is good, because you're expecting they're just going to stay out of your way. However it's happening, you're expecting this person, and don't get caught up in the gender, but this is somebody who likes to have control of pretty much everything is what I'm getting. It's kind of feeling like that, but they're also like, they just like to know what's going on. It's kind of like how controlling they are depends on the situation and what seems to demand most of their attention at the time. Some of them may just be completely, like, they're out of the picture, they're done. Others are just kind of backing off and letting you do what you want to do. Either way, you feel like you're a lot more secure or a lot more able to make your own decisions without their influence or without them breathing down your neck. So that's how we're coming into it. Now, as this keeps going, I really feel like that person is leaving you alone. Like, they've got release here. Like, at the very least, there's something else pulling their attention away, and they're not watching what you're doing. They're just leaving it to you, at the very least. Because I'm seeing the release energy here, like you can do whatever you want, literally whatever you want, because you got the Power card on your side. You're like, they're out of my way, they're out of my hair, they're not looking at me, they're not bothering with me. Great, because I can do what I want now. I can do what I want. I got the power. You got the Power card on your side, like literally the power. Now, as this keeps going forward, you're like, all right, I got the power. This is awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Great, great, great. You got the Blossoming with the Two of Pentacles here. And I do see, like, things are going forward fairly well, but you got the Two of Pentacles kind of like, you're not going full board in any direction, but you're kind of like testing this, testing that. This looks like a good idea. Let me try some of this. Let me try some of that. You're taking your time to make a different decision here is what I'm getting. You have complete control and you're like, I'm going to do this the way I want to do. And I want to get some more information. I want to test some of this and I want to test some of that. That's what I feel like this is going on here. And you're like, I can make a lot of more things happen here. I just need to, tinker around a little bit more. So that seems to be what you're doing. You're doing it your own way. Figuring out things, getting more information, testing this, testing that. That's kind of how it feels. Nothing, I don't see any direction. I don't see you choosing any direction solely and like full board this way. I don't see that at all here. It's kind of tinker here, tinker there. Let me try this, let me try that. I don't think it's bad. It doesn't feel bad to me. So this happens. And I feel like for this person, whoever that person, if it's not the same person, then it's somebody taking their position, one of the two. So it's either somebody new that took over that position, or it's the same person just kind of like checking in on you. And it doesn't have to be work related, but whatever it is, somebody's checking up on you. And they're like, What is happening? I feel like they're kind of like, wait, what is going on here? And they're not understanding what you're doing. They don't get it. Which is ironic, but, well, I think it's because of the page energy here. Because I'm like, fire does go well with air. Gemini is an air energy, so I'd like to say that would go well. Not that this person's a fire sign, don't get caught up in that, but the way this energy kind of flows, you'd think it would. I'm getting like they don't get it. They don't understand what you're doing, and they're confused. And they're afraid that maybe you're confused. You are not. You are not confused, but they might not realize that. You know exactly what you're doing. You got it under control. Like, you got power on your side, but you're using it the way you want to. You're okay. You're good. They don't get it. They don't get it, and they're not understanding, and they're like, I don't even know what to do now. Like, they're looking around like it's chaos. They don't get it. They literally don't understand. So when I'm seeing them come into this, they're kind of like, now what do I do? And they're starting to consider, like, maybe I need to get a hold of this situation, and they're considering doing that. I'm not saying they're going to. They're considering it or trying to find a way to do that. Because they don't seem to... They don't have any confidence in what's going on. They don't understand it. They think things are not right. They're not getting it. Even if they're talking with you, they're still like... They're like glazing off. They're not getting it. Glazing off, kind of like they're missing pieces of the information. You could be talking to them and explaining things to them, but it's not making it. It's not making it through to the brain. It's just not. So... I feel what goes on here, either them or somebody connected to them is saying, you know what, this isn't working. Okay, little flash of light there. That happens a lot in here lately. This is a different light than the last one. That's interesting. But, oh well. There it goes again. That's not cool. What I'm getting here with the Five of Wands is just kind of like the way it's going isn't going to work, and something needs to change. This is usually like the fruitless wind thing, but I'm kind of getting like this pointed feel, kind of like, no, a decision has to be made. The way it's going right now, nothing's advancing, and they don't like it. They're like saying we're just kind of like in a holding pattern, and nothing's really advancing. We need something to advance. They don't like it. They're like, nothing's going bad. Like, really, literally nothing is going bad right now, but they don't like that nothing is advancing to their level of improvement, they don't like it. They're not happy. It's not going to their liking. Whatever. So, what I'm getting here is, like, this is very curious to me. So we're going to pick them up, but this is, like, slowly coming in towards you. Boom. Which is ironic that you got the Tower card with Temperance. Now, this is kind of how it shows on the table. The environment has this. They don't like it how it's going. So they're trying to figure out what to do to change that with the Temperance card. So they're coming towards you, and they're like saying, well, the way this is going isn't working. We need to choose, so we need to change how this is going because this isn't working. We don't like all this, testing this, testing that thing. But we don't like what you're doing. And you just can't seem to make a point to them, like what you're doing. It's not making it. It's just not making it. I'm sorry. So, the Tower is coming through to you. Kind of like, no, see, this is why I thought this was weird. Because I'm just like, is the Gemini being shocked? I don't think so. I feel like you're actually turning the tables again. Which is not shocking for a Gemini, in my opinion. Because, like, a Gemini usually has a couple aces up their sleeve, in my opinion. So what's happening here is, like, they're saying, no, we got to find a different way to go, and they want, like, we don't need to change it right now, but we got to work towards a different direction. And you're like, well, I already have one. You're smart enough to realize, if I'm going to keep control of this, I need to make a decision now to keep control of this. And you're like, I got enough information to make a good decision. You'd like to play around a little more. I feel like that's the truth. You'd like to play around a little more, but you're like, okay, I see it coming. So I feel like you're creating the Tower moment. You're just like, oh no, I made a decision. This is where we're going. Boom. And you're deciding this is the way we're gonna go, full force. I'm choosing this, and this is why, and you got the backup right with it. You're like, this is where we're going, and this is why. Boom. This is where we're going. That's interesting. Okay, so you're creating the Tower. I'm not surprised with that. Now, You got the abundance on your side too. Like, you're keeping control of this. You're keeping control of this, and you're really smart about this. Because you got the Six of Pentacles in the environment. Like, you're getting what you want, but you're very, very conscious about giving the other side or whoever you're dealing with what they want. And you're playing it forward like, yeah, I always knew you wanted this. I was planning this the whole time. I told you this like 3 times. And they're just kind of like, oh, well, I didn't hear that. And you're like, well, I told you, and here's the emails to prove it. You're like, yeah. I feel like you're winning them over after the fact. Kind of like, I always had this under control. I always had it under control. And I was telling you, you were just blocking me out. They're like, yeah, okay. You're winning people over again because you're shocking them. Going forward full force, you're like, I chose this and this is why. And it's serving them very well. And you're like, I always had it under control. I don't know why you're upset. And they're like, well, I don't either. I don't either. It works out. I like the way you play this because I feel like this is very interesting. But what they're saying is like, to make this go more to your benefit, and I feel like what they're saying is, before it gets there, once you notice this person looking around and looking a little bewildered, like, intensify your efforts if you really want to. Like, if there's something you're wanting but you don't have enough information, like, realize, like, wrap it up. If there's something else that you want to consider and it's coming down to the wire, like, as long as you know it's coming down to the wire, you might have a couple of other options you might choose. Like, take this warning for what it is. Because I feel like you might be kind of cut a little short when you realize you have to make your decision. You might be cut a little short on some other options that you wanted to, like, delve a little deeper into. So when you see this coming forward, take that signal and, like, is there something here I really want to know before I make my decision? And concentrate efforts on that so that you have all the information you truly want. I don't see you making a bad decision anyway, but it may change what you do a little bit. And you might actually come out with an even better outcome than originally expected. So just keep that in mind. When somebody starts poking around and they're looking around and they're looking there and they don't seem like they understand what's going on, that's your red flag. Like, the time is coming very soon where you're going to have to pick. So if there's something you really want to know, like, converge your efforts and, like, well, I do want to know more about this and this, so I'm going to intensify efforts there, get my answers, so that way I have a better place to stand. Otherwise, if it just kind of goes through as it's naturally going, you're not going to have those little extra pieces of information, and that might make a big difference. It could. So see that coming in, so that way you can be, optimally happy. You're still going to come out good. I just feel like you might be able to come out better than expected, if that helps. Are we good? All right. We're going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.